brand that I've built is based on my life. I literally grew up in the restaurant business because my crib is next to the dishwashing station of my father's first restaurant. So when I say I grew up in the restaurant business, I grew up in the restaurant. I felt I was so blessed to have a foot in the old world and a foot in the new world. I grew up in New York, but my summers in a small town in Italy, I have these sense memories of the first bites of food that I had. My first taste of Neapolitan pizza in Naples. My first taste of mozzarella from my mother's local town. And I can close my eyes and I can still smell it. It's recreating that. I was extremely driven. My father was my toughest critic and made me my own tough critic. He did not want me in the business, but when I opened my first restaurant and I was sitting there in this mediocre location and I put all my money into it, and I just said, I don't think I can do this. And he's like, no, you are gonna do it. He's like, failure is not an option. I am going to do whatever I have to do. And that meant paving the streets, going to concierges, handwriting notes to every customer that came in. And so people really, I think, started to root for me because I was passionate. And I literally built my customer one by one by one. I mean, I opened my first restaurant at 28. I had 10 restaurants in many years. I've gotten awards both in business and in food. Crane's 30 under 30 when I was under 30. I also got a Michelin star in one of my restaurants. Why Grand Central Station? You know, go big or go home. If you walk around Grand Central now, you'll see so many tourists here with cameras because it's such a landmark, beautiful building architecturally. People love to come visit it. It was one of the hardest locations to get. I like to go for it. If I'm gonna launch a brand, I wanna launch it in a very strong location. I'm Italian by blood, but I'm an American at heart, and I'm a New Yorker, and I love Grand Central Terminal. Prova means several things. It's the verb provare, which means to try, and what I've created here is something very new in pizza, and it also means proof, and I thought it was an interesting play on words because the proofing process of my pizza, I think, is what really distinguishes it from any other pizza out there. Italian cuisine is all about the ingredients. That's all it is. It's ingredients first. You start with the best product in the world and you just want to do very little. You want to highlight it. I asked the distributors and purveyors to get some of the top cheeses. I just told them to put together a blind tasting for cheeses for me. I didn't want to be affected by name if I knew a name. I didn't want to be affected by price. I just wanted to be affected by what I was putting in my mouth. So Galbani was number one. When I found out it was Galbani, I wasn't even familiar with the name of the company until I spoke to my parents who were born in Italy and grew up with the brand and were like, how can you not know? Galbani is like the cheese of Italy. Galbani è fiducia, it's trust, and it's all about trust. I mean, this is a brand that's been around for over 100 years. And they do not change their ways because it's convenient. So I have all these incredible food memories growing up, and I always look for that taste. Tastes like Italy to me. When I bite into Galbani mozzarella, there's a certain flavor profile to it. I don't even know how to describe it, but it tastes like the local cheese places that I went to growing up. I saw them making it homemade when it was still warm and taking the first bites of mozzarella. Very different from the mozzarella I was familiar with from the supermarkets here growing up. I mean, I love cheese. I'm obsessed with cheese. And having Prova, mozzarella is one of the most important ingredients. Look at the color. It looks like milk, it's natural, there's no artificial colorings. And look how milky and juicy it is, and the texture. It's not too hard and it has just a beautiful soft texture to it. I'm taste testing. Don't worry, I'm eating this pizza. Pizza is very personal. Pizza is an art form. I don't know how to not be driven by my love of this cuisine and sharing it with the world. I love it. Everything about it has to be perfect, and if it's not, it really upsets me. So it's my cheese, my dough, my sauce, it's the way I want it, and it cannot be changed.